What is happening, people? It's your boy, African Jedi, back with a new video. Um, we're going to consider this an opinionated style of video. It's also going to be just my thoughts on some things that have happened in Destiny 2 recently. So, last season, this is currently season 17, but last season, season 16, which was the start of Witch Queen, we finally got weapon crafting within the game of Destiny. We've been uh, looking at weapon crafting being a thing as far back as Destiny 1, and it's finally a thing now. A lot of people jumped right on board with it to check it out, see how they liked it. A lot of people like it, a lot of people dislike it. And I'm basically making this video to discuss my thoughts with weapon crafting, and I had a vision, if you will, a couple of actually yesterday, about what I think Bungie could do to make weapon crafting a bit better in Destiny 2. So, as of right now, I'm gonna jump on down here just to get away from that guy up there. He's a creep. As of right now, weapon crafting works like this: you randomly get a weapon to drop into your inventory like you would any other time in the game. However, any weapon that is craftable, and we're going to go here to weapon patterns, we can see weapon patterns here. Any weapon that is actually craftable will show up here in weapon patterns. And what you have to do is you have to the weapon has to drop, that weapon specifically has to drop with what they termed it deep sight resonance. Okay, now what deep sight resonance is literally this right here. This weapon, as opposed to any of my other weapons, has a red border around it, around the box. The red border, as you can see there, this weapon has this weapon has active deep sight resonance that can be progressed. And you just basically have to use the weapon until you get that little green bar down there to 100%. Once that weapon gets to 100%, you can go into the weapon to this little section right here and extract the resonant element, which is 300 resonant element. And you just collect that. That's a crafting material. But once you complete the deep sight resonance on a red border weapon, if that red border weapon has a pattern, it goes toward your pattern progress, which we see here on this firefight. I have 1 out of 5 done here. Here with this come to pass, I have 2 out of 2 done. So I can craft this come to pass whenever I feel like it. It's going to take me 4 more red border firefights so that I can actually firefright so that I can actually craft it. It's going to take me 2 more out of 5 sweet sorrow so I can craft that, and so on and so forth with every weapon that has a pattern. Now, here's the kicker, and this is why I think weapon crafting needs a change. When, in terms of crafting, you're basically battling like 2 different sets of RNG for weapon crafting, especially if you're targeting a specific weapon. This season, for example, everybody's targeting the Offstringer because everybody wants an Offstringer. Everybody wants a good 140 hand cannon that they can use pretty much anywhere, and the Offstringer has some pretty good perks attached to it. So everybody wants to craft an Offstringer. I'm not necessarily going to go very deep into how the actual crafting of a weapon works. I just wanted to go over how you can get weapon crafting started for certain weapons, because that's basically where I'm going to come in and say where I think they should change things. It's pretty hard to get weapons to drop in general in this game, especially weapons that you want. Especially weapons that you want with a red border. You got 2 different RNGs you're working with. You're working with the RNG of the loot pool of whatever weapon you're looking for, say like the Offstringer. Offstringer has a loot pool of like 7 other weapons surrounding it. Let me see here. If we go back to the patterns, I believe Offstringer can fall. Let's see, there's Offstringer. Offstringer can drop at the same time as Tears, a scout rifle, Drain, sidearm, Callus mini tool. I don't know how to say that, but there you go. Epicurean, I think that is. I think Nezaric's Whisper. I think so. So on and so forth. Without Remorse, Beloved, Hollow Denial, and then of course we got it's a rocket launcher here, Fixed Odds, and the rocket launcher from Night. That's like, how many weapons was that? I mean, I didn't count it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11 actually. So out of 11 weapons that can drop, you're hoping for at least one of them. I mean, most people want all of them, but hey, you're hoping for a specific weapon of 11 weapons to drop at any point in time that you're doing the activity. Plus, it dropping isn't enough. You need that specific weapon to drop with a red border, because that weapon can drop without a red border. It's happened to me already a couple of times. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people a couple of times. I have an Offstringer here in my vault. If I can find it. Where are you? There it is. Here's my Offstringer. This is one I had drop for me. This didn't drop with a red border. This one dropped with, let's see, arrowhead break, high caliber rounds, triple tap, and rangefinder. It's actually a pretty decent roll. And it's got handling masterwork. It's not that bad. Problem is, if I wanted to craft that thing, I got to keep pushing. I got to keep pushing until I get 5 of those red border weapons. It's too much RNG. So, I have come up with an idea on how I think weapon crafting should actually work. And I had to pull up some notes here because I had to make notes on this. And before I go into it, I want to show you something here. I want to go into something just so I can have a visual representation of what I'm talking about, what I plan to talk about. So I'm just going to go all the way right here, okay? We're going to use auto rifles as a quick example. This is what I consider to be the honest and the best way to do weapon crafting in Destiny, period. What you need to do is Bungie needs to set it up to where there are weapon frames that we can buy, okay? Weapon frames you can buy right here in the tower, not dropping randomly in the world. No, weapon frames that drop specifically, I'm sorry, not drop, but weapon frames that you can buy, purchase specifically in the tower from Banshee, who is, I don't know, the gunsmith. You should be able to go right in here to Banshee. You see him holding Telesto, looking like he's about to blow all of us away. And you should just be able to go right in here and you see his inventory of rank rewards, his bounties, materials that you can buy. Then he's got weapons that you can buy every week, that this just changes every week. And then a couple other weapons here. And then there should be a tier right here. At least, 7 or 8 weapons, 6 or 7 weapons. I don't know. Let's put 6 here. Since we got 6 up here, let's put 6 down here. 6 random weapons that change every day. And you know what they are? The weapon frames. Frames. This is how you do that. Weapon frames will be purchasable by Bungie. I'm sorry, Bungie. By Banshee in the tower. And the weapon frame could be anything. It changes every day at reset. At least make it like, 2 primary weapons randomly, 2 secondary or special weapons randomly, and 2 heavies. Or make it 3 primaries, 2 heavies, and something of that nature. It doesn't really matter. But they should all be, the weapon frames should all be a rarity of white, common. Just like these 2 right here. You got the Kvostov right here. You know what should happen when you want to purchase said weapon frame? It's right here. It's white. You look at it. Man, I want that weapon. And I want to be able to craft it with perks that I want to be able to put on that weapon. Instead of it having drop in the world, you go right to Banshee and you say, hey, look, I got 100K Glimmer, maybe even 100 Legendary Shards, and a matching archetype of that desired weapon. Matching archetype being, if I want to buy Kvostov, it's a 600 RPM adaptive frame. I should be able to take a legendary 600 RPM adaptive frame auto rifle that I'm not using, that I don't care about, and give that along with the 100K Glimmer and the 100 legendary shards to Banshee. And I instantly get this white rarity weapon that I desired, that I wanted. Okay? When you get it, it drops with one attachment. I say attachment on purpose. It drops with one attachment. Instead of it having, I mean, it depends on the weapon, of course, So, like, scout rifles, some scout rifles, they'll drop with sight perks, like in this first column here. They might drop with barrel perks. But depending on the type of weapon, it could drop with only one attachment in this first column, whether it be a sight perk or a barrel perk. Excuse me. Then, after you get that weapon frame, take it out into the world. Take it out into the game. And you actually have to use it to level it up. I don't know what the level threshold should be. Maybe 100 kills gets it to bump up to the next level, something of that nature. Make it so that the leveling process goes between kills and event completions. That way, you're kind of doing both. You're not just getting kills over and over and over and over and over in a meat grinder. You can actually go get some kills, maybe complete a crucible match, you get some progress there, maybe complete a strike, you get some progress there along with the kills that you got during that said event, right? And that goes towards your progress to the level increase of the weapon. Now, how do level increases work? Level increases work just like this. You get that weapon, it's at white rarity, common rarity, right? When it levels up, it goes up a tier threshold. From tier white, common, to tier green, uncommon. Just like, our green weapons here, right? Goes up in rarity. And what happens when it goes up in rarity? You get a second perk. You get a second attachment. You get your magazine attachment, right? That's what happens when it goes up into green. You still keep your one attachment or perk here. Maybe even get a second one, just like here. You got 2 sights or 2 barrels instead of 1. But now you got this second slot that opens up with a random perk. And mind you, these are going to be random. Random sight/barrel, random magazine, right? Keep pushing. What happens after that? You level it up again, you go up to blue. You go up to, what is this, rare? You go up from uncommon to rare. Now you got maybe 2 of the same sight or barrel perks, but you got another perk here, or you have the one perk that you had here, but you got another perk here in the third column, right? There you go. You got an extra perk. It's random. What do you do after that? Keep using the weapon. Once you hit your next weapon threshold, level up, you got your legendary, your purple tier. Once you get to your purple tier, you get, let's see, this one here. Then you get your origin trait. That one unlocks. Now you got your 2 barrel/sight perks. You got 2 magazine perks. You got a perk that's in the first slot. You got a perk in the second slot. And you got your origin trait. And it's at purple rarity. What happens then? Are you done? No, you're not done. What happens when you get to purple rarity? You keep using the weapon until you decide, or how about this? Instead of actually having, purple is actually the max level. Purple will be the max tier, the max level. But once you get to purple, then you got to work on your masterwork. You automatically get a random masterwork that pops up as soon as you get to purple. You bump your masterwork up to level 10. Once you get it to level 10, your weapon is completely finished. It's completely done. Leveling, you're done. If you like your perks, keep it. If you don't like your perks, here's what you do. Make sure you get your weapon to level 10 masterwork. Once you get it to level 10 masterwork, then you have what we have, the deep sight resonance. That should already be on there, but that should also be a part of the weapon crafting, the kills that you got. It should go up from there. Every time you level it up, you get deep sight resonance energy. I'm sorry, what was it called? Resonant Element. Every time you level it up per tier, you get Resonant Element until you get the maxed out version, and it's at 100% once you finish it at purple. But like I said, say you didn't want to, say you wanted to change these perks out. You don't like none of them, or you want to change this Masterwork out. You don't like any of them. How about this? You literally go back to Banshee and you reset your perks, not your tier of the weapon. Your weapon stays at purple. It stays at maxed out level purple. But you switch out and you reset each of your weapon perks, your barrels, your sights, your magazines, your origin trait, even your masterwork for resonant element and a certain amount of glimmer, depending on what it is. If it's one of the 1, 2, 3, or 4 tiers of perks, then it should have a certain amount of glimmer added onto it with resonant element. If you want to change your origin perk, you should probably pay a little bit more in either element or glimmer. If you want to change your masterwork, you should probably pay a little bit more in element, glimmer, and maybe even a couple of legendary shards. After doing so, you go in and you pick whatever perk you want to be added to that weapon, that is already unlocked from a list of perks that weapon can get, just like it is already when it comes to weapon crafting. That's how you fix this. That's exactly how you fix this. You make it into an actual crafting system. There should be no reason that weapon crafting in Destiny is based completely on RNG. Completely on RNG. I'm not saying that you get rid of all RNG totally. You should have some in there because that makes some of the game a little bit fun. That's why I mentioned that every time you level up the weapon per tier, it goes up. Every time it goes up, you get a random perk, or you get a random magazine perk, or a random sight, or a random barrel. Random. Absolutely random. You might get a god roll just from leveling up your weapon and it goes up in perks. Or you might get a straight trash roll. But you know what you do? If you want to keep pushing and get the right perks that you want for that weapon, you keep pushing until it gets to purple rarity. Then you already got the materials that you've grinded for. You bring them over to Banshee and let his crazy butt work on it. And he'll fix it for you. He'll rejigger it to where it needs to be. That's how you fix weapon crafting in Destiny 2. That's my idea on that. Will Bungie ever hear this? I doubt it. I'm kind of a small channel. But I had to get this idea out there because I really feel like it's probably the best way to fix weapon crafting. There should be no reason. There's so many things in this game that are dependent on RNG, and that's fine. But there should be no reason that there is a system in place of the game where it basically is saying, look, you want to play this the way you want to play it. You want your weapon to feel like your weapon. How do you make it feel like your weapon? You let me go purchase it. Let me make the investment for it. You know, the investment shouldn't come from me pulling the lever on the slot machine all day long, hoping and praying that I get 5 Offstringers to drop, and at least 5 out of those 5 or 100, who knows, will drop with red bars around them, the deep sight resonance, so that I can actually craft them. There should be no reason why that is based solely on 2 tiers of RNG. You gotta hope that the weapon drops, and then when it does drop, you gotta hope that it drops with deep sight resonance on it. That's 2 sets of RNG. You know, I saw a video earlier today from another YouTuber that was discussing whether or not Offstringer or IS Luna is the best hand cannon in the game right now. And he honestly had to just straight up say, I believe IS Luna is still the best hand cannon in the game. Not because it's not better perks or stats wise, but because I just don't feel like grinding out a bunch of Offstringers. It's tedious. It's a long process, as opposed to running into the Grasp of Avarice dungeon a couple of times a week and possibly even getting not an Offstring, but an IS Luna to drop from there. Your chances of an IS Luna dropping in Grasp of Avarice are way higher than your chances of an Offstringer dropping 5 resonant deep site resonances so that you can actually craft it. That's all I'm saying. So, in conclusion, this is just my idea on what I feel Bungie should do in terms of, weapon crafting for the game. I honestly hope that they figure something out. If they decide to take my idea, hey, you know how to get back to me. Just send me a little message. Let me know that you used my idea. I would like a little bit of credit for that. Thank you very much. And I guess that's it. So normally, I'm going to be trying to do videos more often like this, but not as much because I think I like to stream a lot more. So I will be streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/African Jedi, just how it's spelled in my YouTube channel here. So if you want to go on over there and give me a follow, that'd be much appreciated. As well as me uploading videos to YouTube every now and then with discussions sort of like this, or maybe just some gameplay. So, in closing, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. Leave a comment down below telling me how I did and your thoughts on what I discussed here. And please subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and follow my Twitch channel as well to stay up to date on everything that I do and upload and play. Thanks a lot, African Jedi out.